Hi, I'm James Matthews-Paul for Output Magazine, and we're here at Screenmedia Expo2011, and I'm with Mr. Steve Robinson, who is Product Manager for Onelan. Steve, I'd like you just to, if that's all right, explain what we are looking at right here.
Yes, certainly. So what we've got here is an early preview of our upcoming enterprise platform, which is called Cyclone, and it's targeted towards large retail networks, corporate communications, whereby you have a very large number of players, perhaps many thousands, and you need to get your content onto those players. One of the key things about it is that by describing the nature of the player, including its technical attributes, as well as why it's in there, so why this player is next to the breads and morning goods, and telling the system the player is next to gardening and DIY, we can automatically generate a playlist that gets the right content, the gardening content or the car, motoring content, onto the right player. And because that's done automatically, once you remove the human element from that, we can generate playlists for thousands of players.
And you told me earlier, Steve, that this particular product is brand agnostic. Is that a new Onelan strategy?
We generally feel that the future is being more open, giving systems the hooks to talk to other systems, and ultimately it's about getting signage to do more for the customer with less. So some of the things we've got is, by being player agnostic, our customers can now pick the right player technology for the purpose of why that player is there. You know, if it's a shelf edge signage player, one of our big fat thick clients players is going to be too large. There's too much capability there, and it's the wrong fit. Our customers can now go out and pick the right player for their scenario, and we will drive all of those players from the same user interface using the same tools.
Excellent. Now, we were just talking earlier about how last year's show seemed a little bit more fragmented in terms of different types of product. Do you think that that's still true of this year's show?
I think we've seen a real shift. A few years ago, the issues were about processing power, the resolutions that different players can render, codecs. A lot of that has now disappeared now, and I really feel that the player is on the verge of being a commodity. Ayuda have brought out their open splash player, and I think that they've realised that the value is far more in the intelligent management of players rather than in the player technology themselves. When you look at what's happening in the mobile space, that there's really great innovation in the technology, in the hardware of that mobile technology, and that's how you're able to get very high quality content being rendered on little small shelf edge displays. But of course that needs to be driven from some business system. You want to make sure the latest price is on that shelf edge, but also that same price is on your website and on your in-store signage. And so it really has moved the focus away from the players up to the management capabilities, either local or moving forward in the cloud. And I think that's been driven forward by the commoditization of the players themselves. I'm just going to show you a little bit of some of the automatic playlist generation and player agnostic targeting we've got in Cyclone. So the first thing is we have players defined in the system. Each player has its technical attributes defined, such as its aspect ratio and its resolution, and also the content which you want to appear on that player. In this case, it's very broadly, we've got 4x3, and we're only going to show commercials. And so this playlist which we've generated only has 4x3 and commercial content. And so what we've done is a simple click, created that whole playlist, but what's happening in the background is it's changing it into the format suitable for our own Onelan player, and also for the Ayuda Open Splash player here as well. In addition to that, because we now class any player that you could think of, such as like in a website, we're also now able to publish content to websites and video on demand portals. So if you have new content that you've had commissioned specially for an internal ad campaign, you're probably going to want that to appear on your website at some point in the future. So a tick box on that material will allow that content as part of a managed campaign to appear on your website. And as soon as that content expires and that campaign finishes, it's removed from your signage and from your website simultaneously.
Brilliant. Steve, thank you very much for your insight. Thank you for talking to Output.
No problem.
And we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.